Have you ever come across someone so arrogant that you can't help but feel annoyed? The type of person who always interrupts, must always have the last word, and whose ego is so big it's practically a celestial body. It's easy to let these individuals get under your skin and ruin your day. However, stooping to their level and giving them a piece of your mind isn't always the best solution. So, what can you do when faced with such people? Here are 7 ways in which Sigmas deal with arrogant individuals. 1. They don't take the bait. People full of themselves love nothing more than seeing how you react. They like pushing your buttons and seeing how you react. Sigma males are aware of this and won't give the satisfaction. They keep their cool and don't let the arrogant person bother them. Even though it's easier to say than to do, remember that the only person who loses, in this case, is you. Yes, it might feel good to show the cocky person who they're not, but in the long run, you'll only feel worse. The best thing to do when someone is trying to trick you is to leave. Don't play with them or let them ruin your day. Of course, this isn't always practical, especially if the arrogant person is someone you have to deal with frequently. In these situations, all you can do is try your best to rise above it. 2. They withdraw and make space for that person. The most effective method of dealing with an arrogant individual is to avoid them entirely. Sigma men try to stay as far away from the person as they can. A Sigma will do anything they can to avoid working with a certain person. If they are a friend, they won't hang out with them anymore. It's important to put as much distance as possible between you and an arrogant person. Keep it as close as you can to business. This will make it more difficult for them to target you and will also provide you with some much-needed breathing room. This method works so well because it takes the power away from the arrogant person. They need your care and approval to feel good about themselves. If you take that away, they don't know what to do. This method might not always work, but it's worth a try. 3. They make sure they don't lose their self-confidence. Self-confidence is the best way to deal with a person who is full of themselves. With self-esteem, you can ignore their small attacks or attempts to put you down. People who know you as a confident and secure person won't accept it if someone lies behind your back and tries to spread rumors about you with common friends. This works because it's a form of social proof. When other people say good things about you, it's harder for an arrogant person to get their way. This method works especially well if the cocky person is someone you see often, like a coworker or a student. When people are too proud, Sigma men just shrug them off. The arrogant person can't bring them down because they are confident in themselves. They know how important they are and won't let anyone tell them otherwise. 4. They encourage tolerance and open-mindedness in all situations. When dealing with an arrogant person, it can be hard to stay calm and level-headed. They have a way of pushing all your buttons and making you angry. Sigma men are aware of this, so they work hard to be friendly and tolerant. They'd always try to understand both sides of the story and don't make snap decisions. This doesn't mean that they're doormats who let everyone walk all over them. They just know it's important to look at things from different points of view and always be polite, even when the other person isn't. This way, they can always stay in charge and never lower themselves to the level of the other person. This will probably throw the person off, since they are expecting a certain response from you. If you react with anger and bitterness, most people will act like they are hurt or offended. They might use your anger to make themselves look like the victims in order to keep their reputation. Responding nicely takes away their power, so you need to keep a calm, if not friendly, attitude. Then you start to ask questions and find out more about what's going on. 5. They just give the person limited information. Picture this. You're in a conversation with an arrogant person who just loves to show off their knowledge. They've already interrupted you several times, and you're starting to feel the urge to give them a piece of your mind. But wait, if there's one thing Sigma males know, it's that information is power. And when it comes to dealing with arrogant people, it's important to be careful with what you reveal. Sigmas understand that an arrogant person will use any information against them, so they simply give them limited information. By only disclosing the bare minimum, Sigmas make it tough for the arrogant person to find anything negative about them. Sure, they may uncover a few things, but if you're careful about what you say, they won't be able to use it against you. This tactic also makes it easier to remain calm and collected around such individuals because they can't twist or manipulate your words. When you have nothing to hide, you can relax and be yourself without worrying about what they might use against you. In short, giving limited information is a powerful tool in the Sigma male's arsenal when it comes to dealing with arrogant people. It allows them to maintain control of the conversation and protect themselves from any potential attacks. By keeping important information for themselves, they can stay one step ahead of the arrogant person and prevent themselves from being put in a vulnerable position. 6. They switch the conversation's subject. A person with a lot of pride will often try to take charge of a conversation so they can prove their own point. Sigma men change the subject when the conversation has come to a natural end. This will often throw off the rhythm of the self-important person and make it easier to limit their impact on the conversation. Sigma men also try to reshape the conversation in a way that puts you in charge. This will put the proud person on the defensive and let you set the tone for the talk. Don't be surprised if they talk about something new and tell a story or tale about it. They will just make things up to keep the spotlight on themselves or make themselves look good. You can use this to your advantage by changing the subject of the talk whenever they start to dominate it. 7. They are honest and stick to their boundaries. No matter how nice and cautious you are, you have to be honest sometimes to set and enforce your bounds. When a Sigma male is ready to deal with the conflict, he might just tell them that he thinks they are arrogant and doesn't like it. If a person turns out to be a lie or a manipulator, they may have to pay for their actions in the future. They will definitely see the Sigma as an enemy, and to reach their goals, they may try to avoid or work against him. Working against Sigma is the hardest part. If they work together, they might be able to convince their friends or management that he isn't pulling his weight. The Sigma man might not find out that they've been talking about him until it hits him right in the face. If Sigma man's friends and family side with them, an arrogant person in Sigma's group of friends or family can do the same damage. So, the Sigma man needs to be careful about whom he fights. It can be hard to deal with someone full of themselves, but it is possible. Sigma males have a few tricks up their sleeve that they can use to keep an arrogant person in check. By using these methods, they can take away the arrogant person's power and stop them from disturbing their peace of mind.